Hey, Guru Nation, welcome to the podcast version of the Clinical Trials Guru. It is random musings from the Clinical Trials Guru. I'm joined by Chris Sauber today. Hi there,
Hello.
Chris. How's it going? You're getting text messages? Your
I
phone's blowing up. Is it more clients?
No, it's a colleague stating that they will come and get their check.
Very interesting. This is a day in the life of Chris Sauber. So
Yes.
so explain the situation. They
So
don't want the Chase Quick Pay. They want to come pick it up.
they don't want to wait till tomorrow to receive their pay. They want it today.
Huh. So are they betting on the national championship game tonight?
I don't know. Should I ask?
Yeah. Tell
Is this
person.
is this why the cash is needed? Got to go make that wager.
Yes, and I know who this person is, but tell this person that the line for tonight's Gonzaga North Carolina game is 2. Gonzaga, North Carolina. I'm pulling it up right now.
All right. So I'm going to ask. So Dan would like to know.
Yeah, there you go.
Are you using the money to make a wager on tonight's game?
Correct. And I'm pulling up the line. Let's see what it's going to be. Gonzaga, North Carolina line. So they can't wait till tomorrow.
Sure, the game's over tomorrow.
In related news, my check got lost in the mail.
And if so, which team are you betting on?
Yeah, North Carolina or Gonzaga. So the line, the game's tonight. Now, for those watching or listening in the future, this might have already happened, but we're recording this on Monday, April 3rd, and the line is 2. So it's supposed to be a close game. 2 points. And let me know what this person says, okay?
I will.
So anyways, got a bunch of stuff happening, right? It's a good segue. So for those interested in our consulting services, we offer clinical research consulting. So we're a full-service CRO, in case anyone out there is wanting to run their own study. We also help research sites, new investigators, experienced investigators, physicians who have never done research. We help them get set up and started on doing research themselves. And we charge a fixed flat fee. And what did the text response say?
I do, ha ha. Which team?
Yeah, which team? Let's go. So, we offer consulting. We help you get studies. We help you negotiate your budgets, contracts. If you are a sponsor, we help with digital marketing, all kinds of stuff. So just go to dscscro.com. That's dscscro.com. Or go to theclinicaltrialsguru.com, or just call or text me 949-415-6256. So, Chris, we got a bunch of emails. I'll read 2 of them today.
Okay, just to finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to finish the story here with the colleague. Most recent text states, "No betting for me. I always lose too bad." So I had to stop doing that. Lol. There you go.
Glad we got a resolution there.
And we did.
So let me pull up my emails. And we always get interesting emails. But this one, we're going to focus on 2 of them we got recently. And I'll try to keep their identity anonymous, although it may not always be possible. So the first one is about contracts and budgets. So here's the question. I finally pulled it up. Hey, Dan, I have a new question regarding delayed payments. As we all know, there's usually a problem with money flow in clinical trials. I think they mean cash flow. In order to keep the research staff happy, The payments should be done by CROs, sponsors periodically in a timely manner. Yes, not just to keep us happy, just to keep the business afloat. Okay, that's a side note. So an invoice has been issued by our site after CRA approval and sent to a proper person in CRO. The money is still overdue. I called the CRO to clarify. I'm still waiting for their feedback, keeping in mind that sooner or later the money will be transferred. But the question is how to prevent those situations. Everybody gets cranky when they have to wait for overdue money transfer. Would you be so kind and share with me what are your strategies in dealing with delayed payments? What is your tactic in relation to the CRO? What is your strategy to accelerate overdue payments? What is the proper thing to do to prevent? So, very simple. Chris, I know you got a lot to say about this. Here's my
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you have good stuff to share.
Okay.
Here's a good strategy I learned from a very wise and successful and older business person. You know who I'm talking about. One of our current partners. Yeah, he's hilarious. So it's called the Dr. Pepper method. Okay. Whenever you need something and it's overdue, first of all, make sure that it is overdue and you're not missing something on your end before you start this, because it's an annoying tactic, but it works.
Yes, make sure your contract, you're very familiar with what your contract states in regards to timelines and time frames in regards to payments.
Exactly. So here's what you do. You start at 9 a.m., and you go until 5 p.m. It's called the Dr. Pepper method. Every 15 minutes, that's a 1-5, you call this person, leave a voicemail, or you talk to them. Then you call again at 9:30. Then you call again at 9:45. Then you call again at 10. You can stop calling when they tell you that your payment is on its way. All right. Now, if this person cannot help you, you do the Dr. Pepper method on someone else. Typically, in these cases, you'll be assigned to a payment analyst, but another great place to go is your project manager. Okay, and they're supposed to answer their phone. So the Dr. Pepper method, I guarantee you won't get past 2 o'clock if you do this until you get a response from someone. It may not be the response you're looking for, but that is actually my tactic. And before I let you go on, Chris, every CRO has a different payment trigger. So we've talked about this in our videos before. So sometimes the triggers are the monitor comes in to review the data. Sometimes it's IVRS that triggers the payment. When it's monitors that SDV the data, source data verify, sometimes they have to do some things internally on their internal systems that the site does not have access to. And if they're late with that, because this happened with one of my sites, we were doing an inpatient study and we were owed probably $150,000. So it wasn't like, 10 grand. It was a good amount of money, 150K. And what we found out, and it took the Dr. Pepper method to find out what the problem was. The problem was the CRA, who was later let go and replaced by someone more efficient. They were forgetting to do something on their end. So they were SDVing the data, but they weren't doing something on their end to submit a report, or they had to do something on their end where they had to submit it to their project manager, and that wasn't getting done, probably because the CRA was overworked. So that's what caused our delays. So the first battle, if you will, is to first of all just get someone to answer the phone. So Dr. Pepper method. I wouldn't do email. Email doesn't work. I would do an email follow-up after every call, but nothing works like a phone call to ruin someone's day when it comes to this kind of stuff. You'll get a response, and then the battle becomes finding out the roadblocks. All right, what's causing the delay? And then once you figure that out, you can prevent that for future payment delays. So, Chris, what do you have to add? And before that, what does our colleague have to say? I hear your phone blowing up back there.
Yeah, I just forwarded you the most recent text.
The account is broke right now. that could mean
Two things.
right, it's broken, or
Right,
the
not
service is
working, not
broken,
functioning, or
or
she's
the
in the
person's
negative.
broke. Ah,
Right.
one or the other. So, okay, so what do you think about this Dr. Pepper method, finding out what the roadblocks are to getting payments? What do you think about this?
Well, I've watched you use it with success.
Yeah. And
Um,
what's worked for you?
well, to be quite honest, I've never been in a desperate situation for money. The one time that you used the Dr. Pepper method that I witnessed for myself
Was my
was
account broke? This does tie in well, doesn't it?
it does. So, yeah, so one of our clinics was not completely broken, but semi broke, and the revenue was needed. So you got a payment. I think we received it not more than a week later, with you constantly harassing them.
Right. Okay. So is there anything from the contract side when you're negotiating the contract to prevent delayed payments?
Well, so I don't know if it so much prevents delays, but you just have to be very, you have to be aware of what's in the contract in regards to payments, because not all contracts are the same. I've seen many contracts, especially recently, in which payments are every 5 months approximately. The contract will read once a quarter with a net of 45 or 60 days. So that's 5 months. They'll process it once a quarter, and then you'll receive payment 45 or 60 days later after processing. So you want to be aware of this. So you definitely can make requests for that to be changed. You want to receive payments in, processed monthly, and then receipt within 30 days of processing or 15 days of processing, or whatever language you can get for the sponsor to agree to. There's a tactic I've never tried that maybe some sites would like to try. You could request a fine. The site receives an additional sum that you would negotiate if payment isn't received within the terms of the contract. So, for example, say you're to receive payment. The payments will be processed monthly, and you'll receive payment 30 days within its processing. So that's roughly 60 days. So if you haven't received a payment in 60 days, and this is just a hypothetical, if you haven't received that payment in 60 days, maybe you can get some contract language in there that you'll receive an additional $1,000 or something to that effect if it's beyond the 60-day time frame. And I don't think many sponsors would agree to this, but some probably would.
Okay. Anything else?
And I'm sure there's other tactics that I haven't considered that you could utilize in regards to making sure payments are received in a timely manner. I don't really see that as a problem, though. For the most part.
Oh, go ahead.
For the most part, I see payments within what's stipulated in the contract.
Yeah, what has been bugging me is on the retainers. Meaning when they send you the check, sometimes there's nothing broken down as to what that money is for. That seems like it's something new that they've been doing, and I don't like it.
There's a couple. So you can always get an itemized report in regards to what payments are for. Just sometimes it's a hassle, because I know a couple of sponsors recently I've taken issue with, in which it's not stipulating what exactly is this payment for, and it's really like pulling teeth to get that itemized report. You just got to harass them, which I have done and do now receive the itemized reports. But I agree with you there. I don't like just seeing a check for a dollar amount and having no idea what this is for.
Right. Okay.
How can you track it on your end?
So I hope that helps you, listener, viewer. And let's get on to the other question. Okay, this one So again, we get questions all the time, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. This one's good. You know, it's a long question. This person wrote me a book. I won't read it all, but I'm going to give you the gist of it. And it ties in well to patient recruitment, which I think we can wrap up the convo on. Oh, no, I did want to talk about one other thing, a story that you sent me. Actually, let's talk about that now. So what's that article you sent me? Let me pull it up here.
Well, I sent you a couple different things.
Yeah. The one on the
real estate or global debt.
Let's talk about global debt.
Okay. The world is in a world of hurt.
Do you have that email, that link?
No, I'm not looking at it at the moment. Should I bring it up?
Let me bring it up. So just introduce the topic.
Well, basically, the global economy, well, not economy, but the global debt at present time is somewhere around 250 trillion. So many of the governments are living well beyond their means, specifically the United States.
Yeah, I have it here now. From Reuters, total global debt tops 325% of GDP as government debt jumps. So what's the key takeaway from this article?
In my opinion, that there's going to be probably a massive depression sometime.
A massive
maybe
crash,
next year,
right?
Yeah, maybe next year, maybe 10 years from now, but eventually...
Is it going to be as bad as the last recession, or is...
No, that was just a recession. We're talking depression.
Oh, so this is catastrophic.
Yeah.
And so, you know, because I'm hearing other economists talk about this, and, you know, I actually enjoy, well, I don't know about enjoying, but I look forward to when the market crashes, because then you can pick up assets, specifically real estate, at fire sales, right? But you need cash. You need a lot of cash.
If you're in a situation to do so. Unfortunately, most people are not.
Which is why, if they're listening to this podcast, they're going to be prepared. And if you own a research site, you better collect your payments on time, right?
Yeah, because you might not get paid when this occurs.
Exactly.
Whatever's outstanding, you may not get.
This ties right into our last question. So your goal right now as an entrepreneur, obviously make money, make a profit, run a good business, but save, okay? If you bring home $100K a year, all right, live as if you're only making $50K a year, and then save the other 50. Because when this recession comes, and hopefully it's not too catastrophic, because then it won't actually matter what assets you can buy. You're going to be worried about your life if it's truly that catastrophic. But let's just say it's another recession / depression. You can buy really good assets, mostly real estate or other businesses, for pennies on the dollar. Like, that's where you make your money, is when you buy, not when you sell.
Well, both.
Sure, but most of it's made on the buying end.
It's just like the stock market. I mean, what is the philosophy there? Buy low, sell high.
Buy low, yeah, and there you go. The stocks are going to be super cheap as well, right? So for those listening, just know that there is a crash coming. We don't know when. You know, everything's being artificially propped up right now. We had, I don't know, 10 years of just easy money, almost 0% interest rates, and that's not going to last long. And so things are going to get a little uglier. And I mean, what do you think? We can only speculate, but what do you think that's going to mean for the clinical trial industry?
Well, so there's a few things here, right? So when interest rates rise, it's going to be very hard to maintain, for governments to maintain their payments on what they owe. So as interest rates rise, they have to pay more to maintain the debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to cut back spending. So at the United States specifically, the federal government does right now pay for a lot of research. I would assume
Trump already cut 20% of that.
Right, but you might see a 100% reduction if there's no more easy money out there, right?
Hmm.
So I can't remember the statistic, but it's either 40 or 60 cents of every dollar spent in the government by the
Hmm.
federal government is borrowed.
Hmm.
So if it's 40%, you need a 40% reduction. If you can't borrow any more money, you need a 40% reduction in spending. So research would be easy to cut out, right? That doesn't directly affect anybody, at least not today or tomorrow.
That's one of the first ones. That's like a
Right.
long term. I mean, most of the general public doesn't even understand where that funding goes. They don't
Exactly.
understand the research, which will lead into another topic that we'll save for another day, actually, because this has gone on longer than I would like. We try to keep this 30 minutes, but this is especially true. I've been telling people all the time in our industry, we're in the middle of a biotech bubble. Like this bubble has existed since 2009, 2010, really, when interest rates were super low. Investors, venture capital firms, they would have to invest in private companies because there were no returns in the stock market or anywhere else. And so we're in the middle of a biotech bubble, and if there's a crash, most people agree that there is going to be one. We're now just debating when and how big of a crash is it going to be. But if you're a research site, or if you're like us, if you're a CRO that relies on a lot of these biotechs as your customers, uh, you're going to need to make sure that you're receiving your money in a timely manner. You definitely don't want to let it all accumulate, because if the bubble bursts, if the economy crashes, and these companies go bankrupt, guess what? They don't have to pay you. If they go bankrupt, they don't have to pay you.
And even if they don't go bankrupt, they still may have a difficult time meeting their obligations. Interest rates rise significantly. There goes easy money,
Yeah,
and they may have difficulties paying their debt. Not
exactly.
just not just sites, but their creditors.
Yep. And we'll leave the other question for another day. Chris, it's always a pleasure. Any more text messages from our colleague
No.
that we can entertain the public with?
Well, yes, there was one more. Asked if what time I will be at the office till this evening, so they can come out and get their check.
Wow. Oh, so they're going to get it today.
Well, maybe. I'm not sure. The person may want to meet with you since you'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, that'd be good. We can have her on the podcast.
There you go.
There we go. And in related news, the mailman lost one of my checks. My next phone call is going to be to the bank.
Well,
Maybe the global crash is already happening.
no. I think we will see. We will see it coming.
Yeah. And we really need to stop relying on the postal service.
Yeah, everything should be electronic.
That's right. Okay. Anything else? Are you betting on the game?
No.
Here, let me pull it up one more time. I know I said the line was 2. It's Gonzaga, North Carolina. I know you know nothing about sports.
So this is the
Or about
championship
college
game,
basketball.
right?
This is the national
Final
championship.
two.
Yep.
Okay.
So the line is
Who made it to the final four? This is how little I know.
it was Gonzaga beat South Carolina, who was not supposed to be there, and then North Carolina beat Oregon.
And so
And I
North
was
Carolina and Gonzaga, they were ranked high, one
yeah,
and two.
they're both the number ones.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oregon was 3 and South Carolina was 7. I was
Okay.
going for an all West Coast finals. I was hoping for Gonzaga, Oregon,
All right.
but that didn't happen. Since my Arizona Wildcats, which are in the Pac-12, did not make it. They did make it to the Sweet 16, but they did not make it to the Elite Eight. Oh no, they made it to the Elite Eight. They did not make it to the Final Four.
Okay.
So I was going for Oregon, but that's not going to happen. So the line is the predicted score is 75-72, with Gonzaga winning, which is crazy because I would think that the North Carolina would be the favorite, and they are at Vegas right now. North Carolina is -1.
Well, it sounds like it should
So
be -3 if the final prediction of score is 75-72.
yeah, so there's arbitrage there. You might be able to make some money on that. Yeah, go to this website and just put it all on North Carolina.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, we'll see tomorrow what happens, but thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Dan.
And thank you, Guru Nation, for listening and perhaps watching. I might put this on YouTube also. And we will talk to you all soon. Oh, and don't forget, if you need our services at all, do you want more studies for your site? I mean, didn't you hear, Chris? We're going to have a global recession, right? You need to start a business, make money. Don't rely on an employer to pay you your paycheck because of a global recession's coming. Well, that's going to affect almost everybody, okay? So there's no vehicle like having your own business to protect you from a recession. And even then, you're not protected, right? But you're more protected than just being an employee because at least you're in control in that situation. So we help people who want to start sites. We help sites that are already established get more studies, negotiate their contracts, create their source documents, create their SOPs, just everything that you need to get started with a research clinic. Just go to dscscro.com or call or text me 949-415-6256 or email me dan@theclinicaltrialsguru.com. And also, if you want to learn how to be a CRA, okay, we have a CRA Academy. All right, our next class is starting in May, and CRAs are going to be affected by the recession too, especially if it's this bad. But if you get started now, you'll at least have 1 or 2 years, maybe 3, depending on when this recession's coming, of experience.
Well, it could be 10.
It could be 10. So you may have anywhere from 1 to 10 years of experience on your resume as a researcher, which might make you more immune to a recession as opposed to someone with 0 experience.
Or just starting.
Just starting. So always think long term, okay? People are thinking short term way too much. So we have a CRA Academy. We help you get involved in the research industry. May not be as a CRA right away, but definitely get your foot in the door, either as a study coordinator, clinical trial assistant, clinical project manager, like some of our students have done. We've done well. About 25% of our students get hired immediately, and then we work literally one-on-one with everyone else until they either give up, which some do, or end up getting hired. Right? Anything you want to add there, Chris?
No, I think you've covered it all.
thecraacademy.com or call or text me 949-415-6256 or email dan@theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.